the powers that believe that Israel should be a colony for themselves in the Middle East, they are the ones responsible.
Do you know what? I'm really struggling. I've got to be honest with you. I'm really struggling. A British National Health Service doctor of 25 years,
Yes.
a man who's supposed to be seeing patients all day, every day and putting them right, is incapable of saying what happened when it was literally broadcast to the world by a terror group. Nor do you think they're terrorists. You think it's resistance. You seem to want to go every way to justify it. You don't even believe what they showed us with their own technology. And I'm just curious. Do you think any of this is compatible with you being a doctor in the National Health Service?
You don't have to be a doctor.
Do your patients know that you believe these things?
You don't have to be a doctor to care for the lives of 2 million people in Gaza.
I have never thought I would say this. For a while now, I have known that Piers had his own ways. Piers has his own take on things, and Piers has his own view or take on what is considered free speech and how far one can go as far as free speech is concerned. But I have never thought that Piers would call for the cancelling of someone, that Piers advocates for cancel culture, that Piers would set something that will put somebody on the spotlight and that might backfire on that person. You know, it's but normal if a random Joe said something. No one is going to take it seriously. When Piers Morgan, who has a very popular platform, who is very popular in the UK, and who has a loud voice, said something. Now, many of you might argue that he might not have meant what he said. But let me tell you, people don't usually put random things out there, especially popular people or influential people. They don't just casually say things. When they said something, they have a motive for doing that. And they might just casually or say it in a very friendly manner, but the intention is quite different. Okay, there is a more larger intention at play than what you might think is ongoing. I want us to watch this segment when everything got totally out of control. So let's watch.
Respected journalists like yourself have seemed to have suspended their critical faculties.
No, I'm believing what Hamas wanted me to see.
Well, you're believing what you saw.
What Hamas themselves broadcast to the world because they wanted to take great glee in what they've done. There's no ambiguity about it.
I asked you to let me finish, and I'm going to...
You've got to answer questions.
I will answer the question. Let's agree on a principle. If atrocities were committed, right, I will never condone them, right? I will say that.
So do you condemn what happened on October the 7th?
If atrocities are committed, you know who's
responsible? What do you mean if? They were.
Who's responsible for it then?
So you don't condemn it?
Okay. Who is responsible
the Jews brought it on themselves?
No, actually, I would say more than that. I would say the powers that believe that Israel should be a colony for themselves in the Middle East, they are the ones responsible.
Do you know what? I'm really struggling. I've got to be honest with you. I'm really struggling. A British National Health Service doctor of 25 years, a man who's supposed to be seeing patients all day, every day and putting them right, is incapable of saying what happened when it was literally broadcast to the world by a terror group. Nor do you think they're terrorists. You think it's resistance. You seem to want to go every way to justify it. You don't even believe what they showed us with their own technology. And I'm just curious. Do you think any of this is compatible with you being a doctor in the National Health Service?
You don't have to be a doctor.
Do your patients know that you believe these things?
You don't have to be a doctor to care for the lives of 2 million people in Gaza. You don't have to be
No,
a
I'm
doctor.
concerned about whether your patients here in this country, where Hamas are a prescribed terrorist organisation,
And I've said to
whether
you,
listening to this
I've said
interview,
to you,
do these patients know your
I have
views?
said to you,
Do they know your views?
I don't talk to my patients about my views in a 10-minute consultation, do I? Nobody does that. It's just a foolish question, isn't it? That's a foolish question, yeah? Nobody talks to
Why
patients.
do you use a different name?
I use my name.
Well,
my
you don't.
name.
You have two names. One, the leader of the group.
Yeah. Abdul Wahid is a name that family, friends, and other people call me.
Right.
Actually, even some people.
But that's not the name you use at work, right?
Even some people at work. And Wahid Asif Sheda is my legal name, which people use in other forums. That's not a very unusual
In
thing.
May 2023, a
Piers,
prominent...
no, I have to... No,
I'm going to ask you another question.
You did not give me the courtesy
You know
of letting
why?
me
Because
finish.
your answers were so outrageous.
You censor. That's your answer.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
censor.
So you saw that, right? You saw that. You saw how Piers just casually injected a lot of doubt and credibility issues on the doctor, right? You have two names. Why is that? Why don't you explain that to us? Why would a doctor has two names? There is something fishy going on here. I think someone has to look into this to really know if you are who you say you are. There is something going on here. And by the way, do your patients know your take on this whole issue? Oh, do they know you are a Hamas supporter? Oh, no. Do they know you don't support the Jewish cause? Oh, no. Do they know you support the 1945 persecution of Jewish people? Oh, my God. What will the patients say if they find out that you do not ascribe to the same ideas as they do? What would the patient think if they find out that you are from a different religion than they are? What would the patient do if they find out that you are trying to convert them into being fighters for Hamas? Oh my God. Piers is such a child. I have never thought of someone needing medical care, wondering what religion their doctors practice. I have never found a lady who wants to give birth saying that maybe I don't want this doctor because he's not a Christian. Or maybe I don't want to see this doctor because his name sounds fishy. I don't want to see this doctor because he hasn't condemned Hamas enough. I have never seen that. People go to see the doctor for medical issues, and that is why they see the doctor. They don't care what the doctor practice. No one is asking that question. People want a good doctor who can get a job done, who can help them with their problems, who can solve a particular problem they are facing. They wouldn't care whether or not that doctor has condemned Hamas or not. They wouldn't care. So Piers doing all this is just like to muddy the waters, just like to put the doctor on a spotlight so that he can be cancelled. I understand all this because you remember, people will watch this debate and they might get some wrong ideas, or supporters of Israel or Israel's media outlets, those that support the carnage in Gaza, those media outlets that support Benjamin Netanyahu will see this and will spend more money to promote it. They might even clip section of it that do not even share an entire context, and they will just run out on it. And before you know, the doctor's face will be all over the United Kingdom. And then you will see a lot of people start trying to cancel him, to get him fired from his job. And all this would have been Piers' fault. And he did that on purpose. He did that on purpose because the whole discussion was about Hamas and the Palestinians and the Israeli authority. It had nothing to do with the doctor's job in the United Kingdom. But Piers inserted all of this into the conversation. So, my brothers and sisters, that's why I said from the very beginning that someone might casually say something to you, but their whole intention for doing that might be more sinister than you could ever believe. But you guys out there, let me hear your take on this fiery exchange between Dr. Wahed and Piers Morgan. Do you think that people should be cancelled for their views on, example, Israel-Hamas ongoing saga? Or they should be cancelled if they broke one of their professional ethics? Let us know in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. Please kindly like this video, subscribe to this channel because that helps us a lot. Like I said before, we are really struggling to build this channel, and your support and love counts a lot. I wish I would ever be grateful to you. So thank you.